Somebody has taken all of Garth Brooks's tour dates, and every tour date lines up with a missing person or an unsolved homicide. Every place he's ever been. Somebody, one of these people, one of Segura's fans, came up with the theory that if you take that there's a list out there. She says there's supposed to be a list out there where somebody has taken all of Garth Brooks's tour dates, and every tour date lines up with a missing person or an unsolved homicide. Every place he's ever been. Now and I asked her, I said, is there really a list? And she said, no, there's no list. She goes, I've looked and looked. I've looked. Pete looked. Like, we looked. There's no list. But she said, so I started trying to make the list. And she said, and I did it for whatever she said, 5 hours, 6 hours, couple days, whatever it was. She said, and I started coming up with name after name after name. And she said, and then her husband was like, what are you doing? Like, could you get a hobby that doesn't cost us money, that's going to actually pay off?
Right.
And so I ended up saying, wow, I said, that is super interesting, because, she started talking about confirmation bias, and that
So she went looking for missing persons reports that coincided with his tour dates.
Yes.
Okay.
And obviously there are. So I said, you know what? Has anybody ever written a book about this? And she said, no. She's she's like, I don't have the time. She's, I thought about it. But I don't have the time to do that. And she said, besides the amount of research it would take to do that, she's like, and in the end, she's like, what's going to happen? She's like, I'm not going to prove that he's a serial killer. So what does it matter? And I was like, it's satiric though. It's funny. And she goes, yeah, I don't have that kind of time. She's got like 2 kids and a husband. And I said, you know what? I said, I have that kind of time. I said, my buddy Pete's got that kind of time. And Pete's on the spectrum. You give Pete an assignment, you're going to get some stuff. So I called Pete. I said, Pete, this is what I'm thinking. I think we look into this. And he said, oh, absolutely. We have to look into it. And so we started doing research, and we hired 2 researchers to look up. We broke up the list first of all, just to try and find all of his tour dates. There's over 1,000 of them. Not to mention Grammys, Billboard Awards, everything, all the places he's lived. He moved here, then he moved here, then he moved here. I mean, from when he grew up in is it Oklahoma? Yeah, in Oklahoma, like every place. So we're searching it, and we only did what we could find online, right? Like, we're not flying people out to Oklahoma and going through records. We're doing what we can.
Yeah.
And very quickly, we came up with about 120 missing persons and around roughly 90